Hi. Uh, Today's our class is Principles of Inheritance and Variations. Topic 2, Definitions of terms used in genetics. In previous topic, we discussed about the Mendel, how Mendel used the Pisum sativum flower. What is the reason for selecting Pisum sativum plant for his experiment? And he selected Pisum sativum and he did many crosses, self and cross pollination, and finally he formulated the postulates, 4 postulates. Later we can discuss those postulates. Before going to that, now we are going to know about some terms used in genetics. So the terms used in genetics. So first term is character. Character means it is a visible feature of an individual. Visible feature of an individual. You know that length of the stem, color of the flower, shape of the seed, and position of the flower, pod shape, pod color, like the different characters, different features we can see in the plants. So that visible feature of an individual is called it as a character. So here next coming term is trait. Trait is a alternative form of a character. Trait is a alternative form of a character. Alternative form means, for example, we selected one character. For that particular character has, that is a height. Regarding height, we can see alternative forms of the heights. Those are tall or a dwarf. And a dwarf. Dwarf is a short character, tall is a long character. So in this height, we can see 2 alternative forms. These alternative forms are called as a trait. For example, red flower, white flower, yellow color flower or pink color flower, round seed, and wrinkled seed. Round seed means the shape of the seed. Shape is a character here. In this shape, we can see 2 alternative forms: round, round and wrinkled. So like that. Green color pod, yellow color pod means fruit color. Fruit color is a character. In this fruit color, we can see 2 alternative forms. Fruit color is a character. Traits are green color pod, yellow color pod. So these are the traits. A particular character showing 2 alternative forms, that is called as a trait. And then gene, structural and functional unit of inheritance. Structural and functional unit of inheritance is called it as a gene. So this gene, the term gene was given by Johanson, coined by Johanson. So the term gene was not used by the Mendel, but he used factor. After the Mendel research, some different scientists used this gene after proposing chromosomal theory of inheritance. Before to that, there is no gene, there is no physical proof for the gene. Earlier, Mendel used instead of gene a factor, and also for that factor there is no physical proof. So that is about the gene, structural functional unit of the inheritance. This is present on the chromosome. This gene is present on the chromosome. This is responsible for the characters. Allele, alternative form of same gene located at the same loci on homologous chromosome that determine a specific trait or character. Coming to this term. So this is one chromosome. This is one chromosome. A pair of chromosome. A pair of chromosome means in diploid condition, every chromosome has a pair. For example, human being has 46 chromosomes. These 46 chromosomes are in two pairs. That means 46 chromosomes are in 23 pairs. That means first chromosome has one pair, second chromosome has one pair, third chromosome has one pair. Like that, so on. From first to 23 chromosome, there is a pair. So why we call it as a pair? For each and every organism, or human being or any other organism, they have one pair of gene, a pair of chromosomes. One set from the father, one set from the mother. That means maternal chromosome and paternal chromosome. For example, in human being 46 chromosome, this is the first chromosome. Suppose it is a first chromosome of a particular human being. So this particular first chromosome has a pairing. This is from the maternal, this is from the paternal. This is from the mother side, this is from the father side. So these two are called as a homologous chromosomes. Homologous chromosomes. On the chromosomes only we can see the characters. At particular place on the chromosome there will be a gene. For example, this is the gene represent one character. For example, color of the skin. Skin color. Skin color is represented by a pair of genes. Present on the homologous chromosome. This pair of genes represent the skin color. This pair of genes represent the color. So this alternative forms of same gene located at the same loci. Loci means place on the chromosome, on homologous chromosome that determine a specific trait or character. These two pairs, pair of these alternative forms can represent one character. This is called as a allele. So that is called as a allele. Next, phenotype. Phenotype is an external appearance of an organism. External appearance of the organism. For example, when we see a particular person, external feature we can explain. How we explain? He is a tall boy, skin is a white, skin is fair and black hair, black eyes, long legs, like that, stout body. So external features, the external features of the organism, external appearance of the organism, an organism is called a phenotype. So that is a height, shape, color. We can find the different colors. For example, if we see a plant, the plant show the different colors of the flowers. So that is external feature, external appearance. And then next one is a genotype. Genotype means it is a genetic makeup of an organism that determine the character. Genetic makeup. So gene character. So whether it is a tall allele or a dwarf allele. So the genetic makeup represent the genotype. For example, in Pisum sativum plant, tall is represented by capital T. So this is the alternative form of alleles present on the homologous chromosome. This represents the tall character. Means the tall character represented by capital T. This genetic makeup is called as a genotype. And capital T, small t represent the tall character. It is also represent the tall character. What is the genetic makeup here for the tall character? Capital T and small t. So this is called as a genotype. Coming to the loci. Loci means a site on the homologous chromosome on which a gene or allele is resides. Already we discussed it. This is a pair of chromosome. These two are called as a homologous chromosome. At particular site of the chromosome, a gene is present or allele is present. This is called it as a loci. Next, homozygous. Homozygous means it is a condition in an organism where the alleles that determine the character situated at the identical loci are similar. Capital T, small t. So these two alleles, for example, regarding tall, we can take the example. Here, these are the homologous chromosome which represent the homologous chromosome. On this homologous chromosome, there is a character, there is a allele, gene is present. This is a capital T, this is a capital T. These two capital T's represent one character. What is that character? Tall character. Here, so these two alleles, same alleles, there are same alleles. What are those same alleles? Capital T. Same alleles. So the same alleles represent the character. What is that character? Tall. These same alleles are called it as a homozygous condition. This is called it as a homozygous condition. At the time of gamete formation, this is in diploid. At the time of gamete formation in the meiosis, how they form? Capital T genes. These separated. These two are separated like this. So at the time of gamete formation, these two pair homologous chromosomes are separated. When the chromosome is separated, the gene is also separated. It comes separately as a gamete. That is, at the time of gamete formation, this homozygous condition of the chromosomes show the same gametes. That is called it as a homozygous. At the time of gamete formation, they form same type of gametes. That is called it as a homozygous. Next, coming to the heterozygous. Heterozygous means here, already we discussed here, on homologous chromosome, the alternative alleles are dissimilar. Alleles are dissimilar. One is a capital T, other one is a small t. This together call it as a heterozygous. Dissimilar alleles which represent the character. Dissimilar alleles which represent the character is called it as a heterozygous. At the time of gamete formation, what they produce? Capital T they produce, small t they produce. So the heterozygous alleles at the time of gamete formation, they produce two types of gametes. What are those two types of gamete? Capital T and small t. So this is about the heterozygous. Dissimilar alleles on the homologous chromosome is called as a heterozygous. Similar alleles on the homologous chromosome is called as a homozygous. So that is the difference between the heterozygous and the homozygous. Coming to the dominance. So here it is a condition in an organism where contrasting characters are determined by a gene express itself. The character is dominant character and the gene is dominant gene. It can be represented by capital letter. For example, already we have taken this example. Capital T. This capital T represent the dominant character. Capital T represent the dominant allele. This dominant allele represent the dominant character. What is that dominant character? Tall. For example, small t. In small t, these are the recessive alleles. So this recessive allele represent the recessive character. What is this recessive character? Short or dwarf. So in dominance means dominant alleles. Capital T allele represent the dominant. So when these two alleles are dominant, that is a tall. So this is called it as a dominant. The alleles are called a dominant. When the small letter represent the recessive character, it means short character or a dwarf character. So the dominant allele can express the character even in the homozygous condition and the heterozygous condition. Homozygous condition, capital T, represent the tall. Heterozygous condition, capital T, small t, also represent the tall character. Here, why it is representing the tall character? In this pair of alleles, the small t is a recessive allele. It is not dominant over this capital T. This dominant allele dominant over this recessive allele. Because of that, tall is represented by this pair of alleles. So it is called as heterozygous allele. That means dominant character always represented by homozygous condition and heterozygous condition also. Homozygous condition and heterozygous condition also. But recessive character represent only in the homozygous recessive allele condition. Homozygous recessive allele represent the recessive character. In heterozygous condition, recessive character cannot be represented. That means because the dominant allele dominant over this recessive allele, so that the character of this small t, dwarf character of this small t is suppressed by this capital T. So that is about the dominance and recessive. Recessive means it is a condition in an organism where contrasting characters are determined by the gene express itself only in the absence of dominance. In the absence of dominance only, it represents the recessive character. Recessive character in small t condition only, it will express the character. Presence of dominant character, this is not expressed. So this is about the dominance and the recessive character. Coming to the monohybrid cross. Monohybrid cross. So what is meant by monohybrid cross? Here it is a cross involving only one set of contrasting character. One set of contrasting character. For example, if you want to cross two plants, by considering the height of the plant or shape of the plant or color of the seed or shape of the seed, we are considering only one character here. What are those? Height has two alternative forms, tall and dwarf. Sir, here we are considering only that one character, height. So based on this height, we are crossing two plants. So this is called as a monohybrid cross. Monohybrid cross. Next coming to the dihybrid cross. Dihybrid cross means in monohybrid cross what considered we considered only one character. But here in dihybrid cross we can consider two characters. For example, round shaped, round yellow is one character. Round yellow is in one plant, and wrinkled green here. What are the characters we have taken here? Shape of the seed and color of the seed. Here we consider two characters. So what are the two characters for the shape of the seed? Round, wrinkle. These are the alternative forms of the shape of the seed. Color of the seed. These are the alternative forms of the color of the seed. What are those? Yellow and green. When these two characters are considered, so based on these two characters, if we cross the plant, then it is called as a dihybrid cross. So what is meant by reciprocal cross? So here, for example, here we are doing a tall plant, we are crossing a tall and dwarf plant. Here a tall can represent, for suppose here a tall can represent male, dwarf can represent female. This is the first cross. This is the first cross. In second cross means, in next cross or second cross, we can take it as a female, male here. Tall is a male, dwarf is a female. Dwarf is a female. So first cross is, we consider tall as a female, dwarf as a male. This symbol represent the male. This symbol represent the female. In next cross, we can cross this tall female plant with the dwarf male plant. So this is called as a reciprocal method of crossing. So first cross, a tall female plant is crossed with the dwarf male plant, and next a tall male plant is crossed with the dwarf female plant. Such a way we can change the sex of the organism by changing this sex. We can cross the reciprocal manner. This is called as a reciprocal cross. Reciprocal cross. So here, hybridization. Hybridization means we are crossing the two plants, a tall plant and a dwarf plant. We are crossing. So that is called as a hybridization. Due to that, what we get, a product is formed, a offspring is formed. That is called as a hybrid. For example, if we cross the tall plant, so what we get here? So offspring we get. For example, this is a tall, this is a dwarf. Here what we get, gamete capital T, here small t. When this we cross these two gametes, we get capital T small t, one plant. So this is called as a hybrid. So here two plants are crossed, finally hybrids we get. This is called as a hybridization. So Mendel actually selected the pea plant based on 7 phenotypic characters. 7 phenotypic characters he selected, he identified in the Pisum sativum or garden pea plant. So he taken the 7 characters. So what are those 7 characters? Let us see the 7 characters here. Height of the plant. Height of the plant is a character. So these two are traits. What is the trait in regarding the character height? Tall dwarf. This tall dwarf representing alleles are present are 4th chromosome. 4th chromosome of the Pisum sativum. Next, round wrinkled shaped seed. So that is present on the 7th chromosome. This is a very, very important neat point here. 7th chromosome. Seed color, yellow color seed, green color seed. First chromosome. This is on the first chromosome. Pod color, green and yellow. Green is a dominant, yellow is a recessive character. 5th chromosome. This is on the 5th chromosome. Pod shape of the pod. Pod means fruit. This is a fruit of the Pisum sativum. Pod shape, inflattened, constricted. Inflattened is a dominant character, constricted is a recessive character. This is present on the 4th chromosome. Flower position of the flower, axial region, terminal region. Axillary region and terminal region. Axillary region is a dominant, terminal region is a recessive. It is present on the 4th chromosome. Color of the flower. Red color is a dominant character, white color is a recessive character. This is present on the 1st chromosome. 1st to 4th to 5th to 7th chromosome, these characters are present. These characters representing genes are present on the these chromosomes. So height of the plant, tall, is a dominant. Dwarf is a recessive. Seed shape, round, dominant. Wrinkled, recessive. This is 7th chromosome. This is on the 7th chromosome. Seed color Yellow is a dominant, green is a recessive, first chromosome. Pod color, green color, pod color, green pod color dominant, yellow pod color is a recessive on fifth chromosome. Pod shape, inflattened, dominant, constricted, recessive, it is present on the fourth chromosome. Flower position, axillary flower, terminal flower. Axillary flower is a dominant, terminal flower is a recessive, present on the fourth chromosome. Red color flower, dominant character, white color flower, recessive character, it is present on the first chromosome. Such a way Mendel selected seven character. Using this seven character, Mendel did the crosses. So because of this seven different alternative characters, so Mendel selected Pisum sativum plant, that is a garden pea plant. Pisum sativum, garden pea. So let us see the monohybrid cross. In monohybrid cross, when we consider one character, by using that, considering one character, if we cross the plant, that is called it as a monohybrid cross. In monohybrid cross, let us see the monohybrid cross here. Here a pure tall plant is selected, capital T. It is a homozygous pure tall plant is crossed with homozygous dwarf plant. It is a recessive character. Homozygous recessive plant is selected. What is the character here? Height of the plant. So here one character is considered. When we cross these two plants, so what kind of gamete we get from this? Capital T we get. So here what we get? Small t gamete we get. So in meiosis, haploid gametes are formed. When we cross this, so capital T small t, one plant is formed, and this one, capital T small t, one plant is formed, and one more capital T small t. Like that, 4 plants are formed in the F1 generation, first generation, filial 1 generation. This is called as a filial 1 generation. How many plants are formed? 4 heterozygous tall plants are formed. Here, these 4 heterozygous tall plants are formed. So this is the F1 generation. So F1 generation is a heterozygous tall. If this F1 generation heterozygous tall plant is crossed, selfing means within the flower self pollination take. If we allow for this plant for the self pollination, what we get? So this is one plant. When we consider as a capital T small t. So here what gamete we get? Capital T small t. Here also capital T small t with this plant. So like that, when we self this plant, then what we get in this second generation? This is the second generation. In second generation, what we get? In second generation, we get capital T one plant, capital T one plant, capital T small t one plant with these gametes, capital T one plant, capital T small t one plant, and with this small t capital T or capital T small t and small t we get. So how many capital T plants we get here? Capital T one plant, capital T homozygous tall plant is 1, heterozygous tall plants, capital T small t how many? 1, 2. 1, 2. So how many dwarf plant we get? Small t, small t, small t, small t, 1. Small t, 1. So here we represented. So this is a based on the alleles character. Capital T, small t, capital T, small t, small t, small t. So based on the allele character, how many plants we formed? 4 plants we got. So the ratio of the genotypic ratio of this F2 generation is 1:2:1. 1:2:1. So this is genotypic ratio. How we say genotypic ratio? Homozygous tall plant, heterozygous tall plant, and homozygous recessive plant. So by phenotypic ratio, phenotypically if we give the ratio, that is called a phenotypic ratio. What is the phenotypic ratio here? Tall, how many plants are formed? Whether it is a homozygous or heterozygous, whatever it is. How many are formed? Homozygous 1, heterozygous 2. How many tall? 3. So then how many dwarf plants are formed? Only one dwarf plant is formed. What is the ratio of phenotypic ratio? What is the phenotypic ratio? 3:1. 3 tall, 1 dwarf. So this is a very very important point of ratios. Monohybrid F2 generation phenotypic ratio 3:1. 3 means tall, 1 means dwarf. Genotypic ratio 1:2:1. 1 homozygous tall plant, 2 heterozygous tall plant, 1 homozygous recessive plant. Such a way monohybrid cross is done by the Mendel, and later we can discuss the remaining topic. Thank you.